I'm going to start with a paraphrase of something that John Adams said when he said that liberty is never killed, it commits suicide. There's a lot to be said for that, and those of us who are watching this happen before our eyes today that never thought it would happen can't simply mourn its passing, we have to act. When people ask me what is liberty, I tell them it's the absence of government, because people aren't governed, choices are governed. In liberty, your choices are governed by your own conscience and beliefs. In government, they're governed by the beliefs of others. You may disagree or you may disagree, but you're not making your own choice. So government and liberty are opposing principles. They fight for the same space. For one to expand, the other must necessarily contract. So the best way to understand how much liberty we've lost is to understand how big our government has become. And it's very difficult to do that. We can't grasp billions and trillions. It's just too mind-numbing. Government at all levels, federal, state, and local, this year will spend $6.5 trillion, give or take a bailout, something like 6.7 or 8. But when I put this together a year ago, it's planned to be 6.5 trillion. There are 120 million private sector jobs who actually pay for all of this. Do the math, divide by this, by that, that's $54,000 per job. That's how much government will spend this year. The median income in the private sector is $38,000. Let your mind marinate on that for just a second. The government is going to spend more than most people make in the private sector.
When are you most likely to be taxed by somebody who wants to hire them?
Let me put that another way. That total amount of spending is 45% of GDP. 45%. There's another 15% that is estimated to be private sector spent but mandated by the government. This is everything from $1 billion spent on a power plant to you having to buy a car seat for your kid because the law says you have to. Take 45%, 15%, you get a cool 60%. By any economist's definition, we are already a socialist nation. We're not in danger of becoming one, we're already there. We put 60% into perspective. Sweden is 52, France is 44, Canada, our dear socialist friends to the north, I love them to death, at 41, and Venezuela is at 30. Stop and think about that. Hugo Chavez, Venezuela, is only half as socialist as Nancy Pelosi's America in 2009. In my lifetime, I seem to have a run on 55-year-old guys today. But in my lifetime, that number has tripled from 21% to 60%. If you think of it the other way, the day I was born, we were an 80% free country. Today, we're a 40% free country. Our freedom has been cut in half in just one lifetime. Reckless spending has created a debt of $11 trillion. There's another $6 trillion in unfunded Social Security liabilities and $7 trillion of obligations that stem from the last year of bailouts, guarantees, economic stimulus, whatever word they're using for it. So you don't have to be a PhD, you can do this yourself. 11 plus 6 plus 7, that's $24 trillion. Again, divide that by the 120 million jobs that gets to pay for it all, and you have a cool $200,000 per job of public debt. Think of what we're doing to young people that are graduating and coming out of college, ready to go to work. That job needs to support a family, save for education, save for retirement, give to charity, pay $54,000 so the government can spend it, and pay off a $200,000 debt. It will take 4 generations to pay that debt off if we started today. We are stealing from 2 generations of Americans that haven't been born yet. This is unconscionable. I'll give you another perspective on what 24 trillion is. The entire wealth, private wealth in the United States is now $51 trillion. We're talking about in 10 years, half of the wealth of this country will be destroyed by the increase in the public debt. Somebody mentioned when this country was founded. Since that time, we have accumulated $71 trillion of wealth. In the last 2 years, we've gone from 71 trillion to 51. 71 to 51 in just 2 years. In the next 10 years, if we keep going, this is the plan. It's on page 52 of Mr. Obama's budget proposal. We will have destroyed half the wealth that's left in this country by racking up public debt. It will achieve the $24 trillion total. So the current economic crisis that we have right now, it's not simply the normal pulse of the business cycle. I've been doing this a long time. I've been in business 35 years. This is something different. This is our economy collapsing under the weight of government spending, government regulation, government manipulation of markets. We have created a corporate welfare state in this country that is every bit as harmful to its wards as the social welfare state was to it. The economy no longer functions because there's too much government involvement in it and because too much wealth is taken out of it each year. It's not so difficult to understand how we got to this point. For 2 decades, we have spent more than we earned, we've consumed more than we produced, and we have borrowed more than we've saved. The other thing is, government is engaged in unwise military interventions abroad and unsound economic interventions at home. It's silly, if you think about it, to spend trillions of dollars to get us, quote, back on track, when that track leads to financial ruin. There is no end game. There's no economy to recover to. Yet we're going to spend trillions of dollars of borrowed money in order to try to achieve that. No one in Washington seems to grasp this point, and we wonder why. Because they don't care about personal prosperity. If you recall, President Obama did not say that he wanted to spend or to spread your wealth around. He said he wanted to spread the wealth around. With the choice of one word, he told us everything we need to know about where this country is headed. He doesn't believe it's your money. He doesn't think you earned it. It was somehow allocated to you, and allocating resources is what government is all about. There was an election, and as he put it, he won. He's not alone in this belief that wealth exists separately from the people who create it. Collectivists like Tammy Baldwin believe that resources belong to the whole of society, not to its individual members. And they also believe that that's true of rights and responsibilities. They're wrong. Libertarians are the last vanguard of individualism and exceptionalism in America. We're not confused or timid about what we believe. Rights belong to individual persons. Wealth is created by individual persons. It is owned by individual persons, and it's exchanged voluntarily between individual persons. The purpose of government is to provide an environment in which individuals can reach their fullest potential, limited only by their talent, their character, and their initiative.